I apologize. My good old friend technology let me down. Take two, the SAMA's IG Live Masterclass. Thank you so much for coming back. I don't know what happened to that technology glitch. But anyway, guys, as I was saying, the SAMA's, unlike any other or most other music awards ceremonies, are entered for. You have to submit your name and you have to either be a RISA member or not be a RISA member. If you're a RISA member, you'll pay a lesser price in terms of entry fee. If you're not, it'll be a bit more. And then what happens is that the judges for the SAMAs do not look for popularity. They do not look for big names. They do not look for airplay. They do not look for all of those things. All they're looking for is the body of work that you submit. So each album or song is judged on its merits. If it's not good enough, it will not make the cut. But if the experts, people who understand the industry, people who've made music, will judge it to be fitting, and then it will be them. I already have a question from Hawaii. I hope I say your name right, Hawaii Travel. And he or she says, can you submit an album released in 2020 for 2022 summer? Okay, that's a good question and it's very important. Well, let's start here. The SAMAs honor work that are for a 12-month period. So currently in 2021, we're honoring music that got released in 2020. So it's the 1st of February 2020 until the 31st of January 2021. So if you submit an album in 2020, it actually qualifies in 2021. If you're going to release or re-release it and have remixes, then maybe you can stand a chance for 2022. But currently, this is the year that an album released in 2020 or music released in 2020 qualify to be judged for the SAMAs. I hope that clarifies things. So it's important to remember the time period, that it has to be within the 12-month cycle. And that will start on the 1st of February of the year before, and it will end at the end of January of the year that we will be in. Having said that, there are categories that you don't have to enter for the SAMAs. There's just two. There is Record of the Year and there is Music Video of the Year. So these two are different in that we rely on science. We rely on music charts to see who has made the cut. For example, at Record of the Year, we look at radio monitor charts. Songs that have been on the charts for the year and have made the top 20 of that year, on average, they will be shortlisted for Record of the Year. And what we do at the SAMA is that we take these songs and we hand over to the public and we ask the public to vote for their favorite. And then the winner is the one that will walk away with Record of the Year. Also, remember, it's important that it must always be within that time period. And as I said, it's charts. So in other words, if you release an album or a song that's a hit in October and it gets played, but it does not get enough hits, it does not get into the top 20 the following year, it will not make the cut. And that is why we've had examples where songs are huge in December, but you only find that they did not make the cut at the end of the day because they compete with songs that have been on the charts since, say, March. Because we're looking at 1 February until the following year, January. So there is the problem. That's what the industry needs to always remember, and music lovers, to understand that the time period is very, very important. So when it comes to Music Video of the Year, the same applies. We look at the most played music video, and these ones will be shortlisted in the top 20, and then they'll be taken over to the public for voting. I hope that is clear. That's the first thing when it comes to entering the SAMAs. So it's important to remember that you have to submit your entry, you have to complete the process, you have to pay the amount that's expected due to or based on where you belong. Are you a RISA member or non-RISA member? The SAMAs are still open to everyone even though you are not a RISA member. What happens is the next stage that is known as vetting. Vetting is when the music industry really sits together. There's a committee of experts who operate in the music industry. So they sit around the table, well, figuratively speaking, and they go through each and every entry. And what they do is to make sure that these entries qualify to be where they are. First of all, they qualify with the timelines. Do they fit the year that we are in? Do they qualify to be in that genre? At least 50% of the music should be in that genre if things get controversial. Like, is this really quiet or is this really calm? At least 50% then, or 60% should be, will sway the vote. So after the vetting, and let me tell you an interesting story. This year has been very different in that normally vetting will take about a week, a few days. But this year, with the number of entries that we experienced or we received at the SAMAs, vetting had to take up to 2 weeks. Remember, we've been telling you about the great response and the great feedback that we got from the industry, that we're sitting at over 1,163,000 entries. This is the record number in the history of the SAMAs. We did have a celebration earlier on in one of our IG chats where we called the industry to unpack and just, think about what this all means. So then the vetting process starts. And then at the end of the day, those that qualify out of everything that has been submitted then will be handed over to the judges. And some people might want to know, who are the judges and how are they selected? So judges are taken from the industry. It's people who have made music, people who've recorded music, it's producers, it's composers, it's arrangers, it's anyone that's really in the industry whose opinion matters, who is respected. And then there's also the media. There are music critics, there are music writers. Those people have something to say and they know something about music, so we listen to what they say when they give us the scores. And then there's also the academia. There are experts who studied music or who are teaching music. These experts are also consulted. They get called upon to become judges and they help with the scoring. And then at the end of the day, the judges will give us the top 5 in every category. And these are what we call the nominees. And there's a big party somewhere in April where we organize the industry and music lovers to get together and celebrate these nominees. And then for at least a month, we will be campaigning and promoting and telling the people about our nominees, because really just getting nominated is a huge honor. Guys, there are categories this year in the SAMA where there are about 70 entries. So imagine if it's 70 entries, to be in the top 5, you're almost a winner. You are a winner, not almost, you are a winner. There are categories with 170 entries, and we only need 5. So we need the spirit of competition. Every time you enter competitions, every time you enter the SAMAs, you must never lose that spirit of competition. The fact that only 5 people will get nominated, and I don't have to sulk. I have to be happy that I did give it a go. So getting nominated is a huge deal, especially this year with the number of entries that we have received. So that is the next stage of the process. The nomination announcement, and then comes the big night. The big night, as we know, has become legendary. Going to Sun City, the industry getting together to celebrate each other and to congratulate each other. But with the current times that we are in, with COVID and with all the things that are happening in the world, things have been different. Last year, for example, we had to go virtual for the first time. It was a challenge because we were not even prepared for it, but we had to move fast, we had to be agile, we have to adapt or die. And I think we did adapt. We had a 5-day extravaganza that was on television that celebrated all the categories of the SAMAs. And we had great hosts in Donovan Goliath and Dineo Langa and great guest presenters. It really was a celebration. And this year we're back, and it's going to be virtual again, because it's a moving target. We never know where we stand with the COVID-19 regulations and what the government is going to say. So right now, by all indications, it seems like it will be a virtual affair, but we're better prepared. We have our timelines on check. We are talking to all the relevant people. We have all the stakeholders who are excited about this year. and we'll be making great announcements, exciting announcements this month of March. We've got great people who've come on board to support us and to give the stamp of approval, if you like, for the work that we have been doing at the SAMAs. In a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, that is the SAMAs. That is the process of the SAMAs. This is how we get to where we are on the night of the SAMAs. I would like to get questions from the floor. Anyone who's got any questions regarding the SAMAs and how they work and how we get to where we are. If there's anything you want me to repeat maybe, or if there's something you want us to unpack further, do let me know. I'm just going to check now on my phone because I did get some other questions through the social media platforms. There's a question here that says, what qualifies a valid entry? What qualifies a valid entry? So, a valid entry would be an entry that, first of all, qualifies for the year that we'd be looking at. That's very important. Secondly, it has to be in the right genre. And obviously, the process has to be completed. There are people who enter the SAMAs and don't complete the process. And then in the end, maybe they haven't paid their entry fee. Maybe they did not submit this or that or the other. And in the end, they would get disqualified. And then they will never be, they'll never stand a chance of being nominated. So a valid entry is the one that has gone through the process, that has been paid for, and that if there's a need for a letter or a confirmation of sorts, those have been submitted. And then they will qualify to go through for vetting, and then obviously past vetting stage into the judging process. Mr. Kruger 1 has asked a question here. He or she wants to know, are we getting a live show this year? Well, that's as I said, it's a moving target. If it's a virtual show, then it is pre-recorded and pre-packaged, and then it's going to be broadcast on television. It's going to be streamed live, and then it is those are the two major platforms really where you can access it. So it will look live because it's live performances and it's live presenting, but I mean we'd have to use the techniques of television making and of awards shows to make sure that it's smooth and seamless, and it flows, and it's most importantly entertaining, and it's of the standard that you'd expect from the SAMAs. A lot of planning goes into that, a lot of negotiations really, to make sure that we get the right people, we get the best people to present, we get the most relevant people to deliver a quality SAMA. Because at the end of the day, this is about South African music, this is about South African popular culture, and there's no way that we can shortchange it. Everything has to be on point, it has to be the best that we have to offer in the industry, or from the industry. Okay, while you're still thinking of more answers, we've got 10 minutes to go. The session today is only 30 minutes. I'm also going to go through my messages here to see what other questions came through. There's a question here about who judges the entries and how are they selected. The judges, as I said, are drawn from a broad spectrum of the music industry, from music makers, hit makers, composers, all the way up to academia and the media. And these are selected by the industry itself. The industry has an event called the town hall. The town hall happens right at the end of the SAMAs. And then what happens then is that it's what we call a post-mortem. We look at what happened in the previous year, what can be improved, how can we plan better for the following year. After that town hall, then the committees will meet to decide on the new rules, on what needs to be changed, and then they will then appoint the judges. So these are people that have been recommended by the industry itself. It's people that the industry respects, people who have shown their worth, who have earned their stripes, who we can believe and trust their judgment. They are people of integrity, they're people that we respect. So we actually do stand by what our judges say or pick at the end of the day, because these are people that we trust and we know that they can be relied upon. So that's that on the judges. The next question is, how reliable are the judges' findings? I think I've already answered that. The fact that these are people that have worked in the industry and that are respected and that have earned their stripes. And we do publish the list of the judges at the end of the SAMAs, by the way. It's important to remember that nothing is really done hush-hush or secretly. We do publish all the names of the judges for the year that we would be celebrating. And you can access that to see for yourself who are these people. And obviously the natural question after that would be, how can I be a judge? What do I need to do for the industry to notice me as someone who's worthy of being a judge? Well, I think you need to continue doing what you're doing right. If you make great music, make great music. If you're a brilliant writer and a critic of music, make your presence felt. Use social media. Talk to the right people. Make your publication visible that the industry cannot ignore. It really is about peer review. It really is about the industry saying who is currently the right person for this category to judge, because we respect their opinion. So visibility is important. And it's also important to network. It really is important. Let the industry know you. Let people who sit in these committees know that you matter. And just even that you're interested to become a judge. That's not something that you need to be ashamed of. You need to put your hand up and say, I think I'll make a great judge. So don't be shy about it. Say, put your name up. Hloni Mudisa, hello. I do hope that you have a question, because I know you are someone who's passionate about the industry and who has worked with so many artists, and you've produced SAMA award-winning artists, and I'm sure you have something to say. So yes, that's that, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, okay, I'm digressing. It's something else. So where we are at right now with the SAMAs is that we have given the entries to the SAMAs, to the SAMA judges. The judges are hard at work. They are going through all the entries, and they will be making their final selections. We give them about a month, so I think somewhere in April we'll have an idea of who's who, and then when the time comes, we will make an announcement as to who the nominees are. So it's an exciting process, really. And I think the SAMAs are very grateful. We are very thankful of the support that we've enjoyed from the industry and from music lovers like yourself tuning at home and having an interest in the SAMAs. I think it's important that we remember the value that the SAMAs bring to our musicians and how they can make careers and how they can turn stars. There are so many musicians that I would like to bring on the IG Live. I'd like to hear your suggestions, but there are a lot of musicians that I want to bring on board for them to come and to share about what the SAMAs have done for them. There are many artists that have won multiple awards, 4, 5, 6 in one night. I would like to have a time to sit with them and talk about what it meant, how it happened, how it changed their lives, how it changed the trajectory of their careers. There's so much more that we're going to do. So guys, please stick around. Come when we say that we do have an IG Live, because there's so much that we can learn together. By the way, I'm not sitting here as a know-it-all. I'm sitting here to communicate what we have as plans at the SAMAs, but it's also an opportunity for us to interact with people who've got an interest in this space, for them to share their ideas, to challenge the decisions that we make, and to help us with suggestions. Because really the SAMAs, as I keep saying, they are for us all. They are not only for a select few, they're not only for hit makers or people who are signed up with major record labels. There are independent labels. There are small publishers and music makers who should actually be given a chance to shine, but they need to put their hands up to say, we are here and we want to deliver. So I'm opening up for questions, guys. We have about 4 minutes. I'm going to see who's here, and let's hear the questions that you have. Otherwise, stick around for the next announcement. We will be coming back probably next week. I'm not sure. I cannot guarantee. Or at least in 2 weeks' time, where we bring an interview with one of the biggest stars that the SAMAs have produced. Sir Kanyile wants to know, when are you guys announcing the nominations, or am I late? Sir Kanyile, we haven't announced yet. We will be announcing in April. Right now, we are judging the entries, and then we will make an announcement in April. Somewhere mid-April or late April, latter part of April, we'll be announcing our nominees for SAMA 27. Solly Green wants to know, how do you guys choose your host for the main event? Solly, really, it's about the big names in the industry, the big names in entertainment, in show business, in music, on television. It's people that we think will add value and people are interested to see and hear from. The SAMA is really the biggest stage of entertainment. So once you get put on that stage, you really have to shine. There's no way to drop the ball or let the team down. So it's really people who are up there, who are relevant, who can also bring us interest, because we want people to be interested in the SAMAs, and the hosts play a very, very important role. Hloni Modise wants to know, what is the criteria for selecting the performers at the nominees announcement and main event? So I think sometimes we drop hints as to who the nominees are, because some performers at the nominees event would be the nominees themselves. But obviously we pay homage to the great music that was produced in the year that we're honoring. So great hits, great musicians who did well in that year, commercial success, will stand a better chance of being selected to perform at the nominees announcement and at the main event. Obviously, we want to hear all the hits that got us moving in the year, whether it's amapiano or house or dance or even jazz or gospel. Let's have all those mashups, because it's a celebration of the year that was and the great music that was produced. So at the end of the day, it really is about who got us dancing, who got us moving in the year that we're honoring. Those are the people that stand a better chance of being selected. Yes. We are left with 1 minute. So if we don't have a question, I was hoping that some of you guys will suggest some of the people you'd like to see on the IG Live, some of the musicians or celebrities you'd like to see me interact with, interview, talk to, and just unpack the SAMAs and just engage with. Do let me know when you get a chance. The last question comes from Hloni Modise. She wants to know, are you going back to Mzansi Magic for SAMA 27? I don't have an answer right now, Hloni. You're going to have to wait until somewhere in April when we make a formal announcement. But we will have a partner on television. The South African public will continue to enjoy the SAMAs on television as well as streaming and the other platforms that we have. On that note, I would love, as I said, to hear from you. Who would you like to have? Master KG Lingo wants us to have Master KG on the IG Live. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think we should pursue it, and I've noted Master KG. It will be great. Sir Kanyile, thank you, sir. Thank you for your response. We're looking for the nominees party. Yes. Well, I don't know if they're going to have a party, but I know that it will be a virtual affair. So you can tune in wherever you are. You can plug in and participate and have your party at home. We still have to be safe. We still have to be careful with COVID and all of that, all of the things that are happening in the world. Habedi Tebo says Nhlanhla Nciza. In fact, Nhlanhla Nciza was supposed to be our guest, and we had a huge technical glitch somewhere in, was it January? Yes. So in the end, we did not have her. So that is an outstanding one. She is going to come. I do promise you, Habedi, keep watching the socials. Nhlanhla Nciza will be coming. The same applies to Lebus Khobela. Melebo also had a technical glitch. She was traveling and we could not connect. So she still owes us that visit. So those will be coming through in the near future. For now, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I appreciate your time, and I hope to see you soon on to the next one. For now, keep dancing and enjoy the music while keeping safe and being responsible. Thank you.